Hello and welcome to 97.9 Unity Radio, the best sports show in the 508. Husky Talk, the MMA Report. I am your host, the best podcast host in the universe, Steve Cully. And with me, as always, my co-host. He just trains, he just teaches class, and he beats ass. And that's Tyler King. Tyler, welcome.
Thank you very much, Steve.
I would like to give a shout out to one of our newest sponsors, Peter Finch. Peter Finch, who was one of our teammates. He founded the Finch firm in 2016, has quickly made an impact in the community and across the state of Connecticut, fighting for clients' rights and interests in some of the toughest legal battles in the state. Based in Bridgeport, Connecticut, the Finch firm has argued cases in Connecticut's Supreme Court and Superior Court. The Finch firm can help you if you were injured in a car accident, arrested, or feel your rights have been violated. That's the Peter Finch firm. And also Procyon Partners. Procyon Partners, they specialize in wealth management, retirement planning, and employee benefits. President Sean Rabinowitz is a proud supporter of Husky Talk, and he is going to get me a Tesla when I make my first million. And here we are, Tyler, with the MMA report. And there was a lot going on this weekend in the UFC.
This was a pretty crazy weekend in the world of mixed martial arts. A lot happened, a lot to talk about, but I guess we'll stick with the main card from the UFC. But yeah, it was a pretty crazy weekend, eventful. Honestly, a great event. Super entertaining. All the fights were pretty entertaining. There's a lot of controversy. Utah showing why it's a bit of an ass backwards state sometimes. Yeah, it was a great event.
Where did you see the controversy first rear its ugly head?
Um, I'd have to rewatch the first couple of fights.
It
From
started early.
for me, the co-main event was by far the most
Okay.
egregious, but
Oh,
we'll get into that as we go on.
the co-main event. But you
Co-main
said
event between Raquel Pennington
yes.
and
Yes.
Venezuelan Vixen. What's her name? Why can't I remember her name right now? The new champion. I
Juliana
can't remember her
Pena.
name. Juliana Pena. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you said that early on in the card, you noticed some nefarious goings
Yeah.
from the judges, or
Yeah. 100%. I.
okay.
The. I. Caught a little bit of the prelims, a little bit here and there on my phone. I was kind of out and about, but then once main card started, I met up with a good friend of mine. We actually went to a theater and watched it. New experiences. It was actually a lot of fun for both of us.
Oh,
Uh,
I love watching in a theater. I think they should do more
that
of
was
that.
actually my first time watching in a theater,
Yeah.
and me and my friend like really enjoyed it. But I feel like the King of Rio, Jose Aldo, was he was robbed, in my opinion.
Wow, really?
Yeah, I, I feel like he clearly won the fight, but hey, Utah.
Um,
But hey, Utah.
how much was it to get in to watch the main? Did you have to pay just for the main card, or did they charge you for everything?
I mean, security was lax. We just walked in.
Oh, you just walked in. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, were you talking about Holloway?
No, I was talking about Jose Aldo versus
Oh, Aldo was Aldo. Okay.
yeah.
You thought he got robbed.
Yeah, I thought Jose, I don't think he won that fight.
Not even close.
I wouldn't say not
And
even close,
was it
but
was it a split decision?
I am not sure. I have to go back and look
Yeah, it was a split
at the
decision.
decision.
Okay. Wow. In
Yeah,
the I'm trying to see this. The other news that happened after the loss was Carla Esparza retired after her loss um, to Tisha Pennington. Were
yeah.
you surprised that
No,
Carla
I've heard rumbling.
retired?
I
Oh, you
heard,
did.
yeah, I heard some rumblings. She was kind of on her way out, so I heard she lost. She was going to retire, so definitely not surprised.
Do you know if she had fights left on her contract?
Pretty su- I'm actually not sure. This might have been like the sixth fight, which would be the last fight on her contract. Again, I'm not 100% sure. I don't want to speak on it, but I'm
Yeah.
not sure. But
Yeah. No, I
excuse me.
mean she's the Cookie Monster and 36, and she's a mom and she wants to be a mom, and
Yeah,
two-time UFC strawweight champion,
yeah.
and she
Like,
was in Invicta. I mean, she's been all over the place.
and
So
she was a champion early on in her UFC run. She was on the Ultimate Fighter, which is the first inception of the. She fought like strawweight
oh,
or
okay.
flyweight.
Yes, I did not know that. She was on the first inception of the Ultimate Fighter.
No, the first inception of that weight class, which
Oh,
was a season of the Ultimate Fighter. She won the season of the Ultimate Fighter, and she was crowned champion, I believe, of the 125 division.
right, right. I remember they added that. You are right. The other news that I saw was a little interesting. The boxing superstar, Mr. Crawford, rejected a deal to fight Conor McGregor because he didn't want to participate in an MMA fight. How dumb could you be to do that with the
Do you
money that
mean
you would
to turn it down or take the fight?
to turn it down? With
Uh,
all the money you would make from taking
Terrence
a fight with
Crawford.
McGregor?
Terrence Crawford's a rich man. He
Okay.
could you listen. We all want more money, but he said he would box Conor McGregor, but Conor wanted to do a two off. He wanted to do a boxing
Right.
match and then an MMA fight. Boxers don't want to deal with that. They don't want to deal with the ground game. Definitely don't want to get kicked in the legs, kicked in the head, etc. So
Do you think that Crawford would have matched up with him or no?
no, not at all. Boxing wise,
Oh,
yes.
wow.
Boxing wise, yes. In mixed martial arts, he would get destroyed. Absolutely murked.
So, I mean, it still looks like it's going to be Michael Chandler and
Right
McGregor.
now, there's no
It's
update
not.
on when Connor's gonna come back, nor the
Yeah.
opponent. Right now, Chandler's moved on. He'll be fighting Charles Oliveira
Charles
this
Oliveira,
month
right.
at Madison Square Garden. So I mean,
That's what
Chandler
we,
seems to have moved on.
yeah. That, no, I remember that's
And
what we were hoping for,
and
but we didn't
honestly,
get it.
I'm not gonna lie. I believe this was a blessing in disguise for Chandler for several reasons. One, he'd taken L's, I believe, in all his UFC fights, so
Yes,
he
yes,
needed some time off. I believe, he got choked out. I believe he got knocked out as well.
he
Like
did.
he could use the time off, so he's gonna be a bit rejuvenated when he comes back. Secondly, this is a pretty massive fight. Him versus Charles Oliveira. The winner of this fight could very well be the next number one contender. So I
For the
believe it's kind of a
lightweight. Yeah.
win-win for him overall. And most likely, he's going to be getting a heftier payday. The UFC most likely renegotiated the contract that he had to fight. Like he was scheduled to fight Connor. He's probably make
Yeah.
the most money he'd ever made. Most likely, what the UFC did was they probably brought that number down, but he's still going to get paid probably the biggest purse he's ever gotten paid.
But it still blows my mind. Chandler, I mean, he's 38 years old. He hasn't fought in 2 years since his loss to Dustin Poirier
Yeah.
in November of 2022. He coached opposite McGregor in The Ultimate Fighter, but I mean, I just don't know, and I've asked you this several times, how as a fighter you can take a 2-year layoff and then
Like I
come
said,
back.
he's been training,
Yeah,
but
he's been training,
he
but
has a
I
lot
mean,
of he has a lot of miles. I really do
yes,
believe this will be
yes.
beneficial for him in the long run.
And you think Oliveira is coming off a loss?
Oliver is coming off a loss, but he's one of the most dangerous men
Yes,
in that division. So I mean,
he's been up
it's an
and down.
exciting fight, and like I said, win-win for Chandler. If he
Yeah.
loses, he'll still get a big purse. He wins, he's right there in the title contention picture.
So, say Chandler loses.
Yeah.
Does Chandler fight McGregor?
No.
No, he doesn't get the fight with McGregor. Okay.
No, if he loses, he'll probably retire.
You think he'll retire?
Personally, I think he should. I don't know if he will. Excuse
Well,
me, but I believe
he's
he will retire if he should retire if he loses.
because I mean he's taken fights on short notice. He stepped in a couple times.
Yeah.
But I mean, apparently, from what I'm seeing, he's got his 2025 all mapped out. He's got it all mapped out. He's going to
Yeah,
beat
and
Charles.
there's a big obstacle in his way by the name of Charles Oliveira.
He doesn't think it's a big obstacle. He says there's
Well,
no doubt that he's going to beat him.
is some very
He's pretty
I won't use
bold
any
words.
politically incorrect terms, but that is a very foolhardy attitude.
He says that he's going to beat Charles, and then he's going to be next in line for the title, and both those fights were happening.
That sounds like something effing R word would say.
And then he said, "I will fight for the title and win it, and then I will fight Conor McGregor, and I will bet the farm on it." That is the words.
Good.
Quote.
Hey,
quotes from Michael Chandler.
I hope the farm is in his wife's name, because that's just some dumb stuff. That's just some dumb ish to say.
You think well, you know how it is when you go into the octagon. You got to have confidence in yourself.
Well, of course you do, but
he doesn't have
of
respect
course
for
you
Charles.
do, but no, I fully agree with you. But to dismiss the likes of Oliveira like that,
he is dismissing
dumb.
him. He is.
Yeah,
he's
dumb.
completely looking.
It's dumb. It's dumb. You're dismissing a former champion who's looked spectacular, even in losses. Like, no, like be quiet. Like, you're showing how dumb you are. How delusional. Hey, I'm glad you got a nice little cameo on Raw, because you probably have to go to WWE after this fight.
I don't know if he's got the personality for it. I don't know if he has the size for it, but that would be interesting to see him there.
You can fight Rey Mysterio. You can fight Rey Mysterio.
Oh, you're gonna Michael Chandler versus Rey Mysterio?
Yeah.
That's how little you think of him?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
What's he gonna who's he gonna fight? What's he gonna fight? Sheamus?
I don't think
Sheamus would is anyone gonna would literally anyone believe that Michael Chandler could beat Sheamus?
No, they would have to sell.
We'll have to really suspend that belief. We'll really have no. Sorry, no.
Speaking of that, yesterday on Husky Talk, I got to interview, if you recall, from the Mean Street Posse, Pete Gas.
Come on.
Yep.
Really? Nice.
Yeah. He's a UConn guy.
Is he really?
Yeah. Yeah.
From fucking Greenwich to UConn? Way to downgrade, homie.
Well, his brother went to UConn, and his family were a bunch of athletes.
Okay,
He was
all
he was
right, but I
he was
mean,
he was a great guy to interview,
must
and
have
I
had these good grades to get into Yale.
and I asked him, am I allowed to talk to you about the WWE? And he says, well, it depends what you're gonna ask. And I go, no, don't worry, I'm not gonna go there. And he's
Yeah, yeah,
like, okay, you can talk about it. But yeah, he was awesome. He was
yeah.
awesome to
Well,
talk to.
I'm pretty
I
sure that Vince probably has some dirt on him too, so he's just gonna leave that one be.
well, he wasn't there that long. He was there
No, no,
for
no.
like
But
two
was he like
years.
childhood friends with Shane?
Yeah, yes.
So
Shane's one of his best friends.
I'm
Yes.
pretty sure that he has some
Yeah, you're
Richard
probably
Vince
right.
knows some things that he's done that he doesn't want public.
You're probably right. You're probably right.
Like,
You're probably right.
What do you think Shane and his crew were doing in high school?
Shane was a rebel in high school, allegedly. Shane was a rebel in high school.
Allegedly, allegedly.
But the funny thing was I asked him, I said, because he was surprised that he got cut and released. And I had said, if WWE like sent you down to developmental and you could have had a 10-year career, would you have done it? Would you have been a wrestler? And he said, Steve, if they called me right now, I would go back in a heartbeat. He said, I loved it. I loved every second of it.
All right.
And he told me to watch WrestleMania 2000 because JR makes a remark about UConn football because Pete Gas played there. But looking at the main card, overall, I mean, I thought it was a very good
Oh, very,
show.
very entertaining card.
Very
Very
entertaining.
entertaining card. Um, those judges in Utah. I mean, my. We'll talk
Yeah,
about this. Well,
the judges bother me everywhere because I would love to know how they are trained.
they're
Um,
not. They're for
because
the most.
Frank told me this when Frank was running his MMA shows, and he had to get his judges trained and licensed and all that, and it's very like subjective for
Oh, of
how
course.
they score things,
And
and
a
if
lot of
they
them are a lot of them are grandfathered in from
yes
boxing, so
yes
they just don't have the knowledge base.
no not even close, not even
Yeah.
close, which is why I like I don't know why you would pick Utah to have a show of this magnitude in.
Well, the UFC schedules these shows like a year out usually. So
They
I
do.
mean,
Yep, they do.
so I mean, it's like it's like any other major city, major venue. They go to all major cities. So I mean, what? Just because they had bad judging? There's bad judging everywhere. They have the majority of their shows in Las
In
Vegas, and
Vegas,
there's
I
a lot of
know.
bad judging in Las
Yeah.
Vegas.
Yeah. So, what can be done to clean that up? Because Dana White rarely will come down hard on the judges. I've
Are
seen
you
him do it
kidding
a
me?
few times.
He always comes down hard on the.
I've seen him do it a few times. I haven't seen him like do it a lot.
I've seen it numerous times. Um, it's up like the judges are appointed by the state, and like I said, the
They are,
grandfathers from
yes.
boxing most
Yes.
of the time. They need to have experts come in.
Well, couldn't they get like what's some of the older guys like Shamrock
They
to be a
could, but
judge?
a lot of those guys don't really have the motivation to get in there and be judges. I mean,
Okay.
their interests are other places financially. So I mean, they're not. It's not going to be a thing where the financial motivation isn't there for the former guys to do it. I personally know someone.
They would be the best ones to do it though, wouldn't
Oh,
they?
agreed, fully agreed. But they're not getting the financial incentive from these state athletic commissions. I personally like. I think one of the best referees in the game is Kevin McDonald, and he like fought back in the day, 2 decades ago it back when it was like back room fucking clubs here in Massachusetts. We used to have fights at a dog track in Revere, not too far from where I lived in East Boston, at Suffolk Downs. I believe there was a place called Club Lido as well in Revere. Those two places were really, kind of big when they used to have they used to call it NHB, no holds barred, before there was a unified rule set, before it was really recognized as a major sport. So some of the guys are grandfathered in from that side. Those are, like,
Right.
in my opinion, the best guys as far as judging and reffing. The guys grandfathered in from boxing, a lot of them aren't educated the way they need to be,
No, I don't know
and
how
we get
anyone could
these
do both.
and we
I
get
don't know.
these kooky decisions.
Yeah, I don't know how anyone could do both. I don't know how you could take a boxing judge
I mean, I
and
could,
ask them to. Well, I could see a UFC judge
yeah,
being able to judge
no,
a
like
boxing match. I
exactly,
couldn't see a boxing judge coming to judge UFC,
exactly, and they all come from boxing.
and then that's ridiculous. And
It is
is
what it is,
that
Fish.
UFC's decision, or is that
No,
state by state? They're
Steve, I
forced.
literally just said to you, it's the state's decision. The
It's the
state athletic
state
commission are the ones
that
that appoint
appoints.
the judges and appoint the referees.
Wow.
The UFC has input. They send agents to the meetings,
Right.
but that
I di-
only
oh,
goes
I
so
di-
far.
I didn't know that. Well, then, what do you think of Herb Dean as a referee?
I think Herb Dean's one of the best in the business, but
Yes.
he has definitely made some bad calls. But again, they're all humans. Like, we all
Yeah.
forget
Yeah.
they're all humans, and they can have a little bit of error. They can make mistakes, and it happens. But his mistakes are fewer and far between compared to the guys that come from boxing, especially the judges.
Right. Right. No, that's surprising to hear. So the big win, obviously, was Kayla Harrison, the queen of the women's bantamweight division. Um,
She's not the queen. She is now the number one contender,
well,
and
she's
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 beat.
gonna be the queen. She's gonna be the queen.
Is she?
I think she is. I've seen her a few times, and the bantamweight division has been one of the toughest. I think it's the toughest out of all the women's division, and I respect Juliana Pena, and she's been around, and she's been a champion before, right?
We'll get. Yes, she has. We
Yeah.
will get to that one. Let's focus on Kayla right now. I
Okay.
mean, Kayla looked sensational in her first match versus Holly Holm. Holly's 40 though.
We
Holly's
talked
on
about
the
that. Yep.
Holly's in the twilight
You
of her career.
you love Holly. You think Holly's
Oh, I'm a
great.
big fan of Holly overall,
Yes.
but
Yes.
I think Father Time is undefeated. It is what it is.
It is.
Um, in this fight, Kale looked pretty dominant, but what was her opponent ranked? Like 8.
Well, yeah, they didn't.
Listen,
She was ranked 15th, actually. I
yeah,
think.
she was ranked 15th.
Yeah, yeah, I
Who,
believe
Kayla or
so.
her opponent?
Her opponent.
Okay, so Kayla's coming off the win against Holly, then went off number 15. She's pretty
Yeah.
much like she's won pretty dominantly, and she has
Oh, yeah.
you
She
know
she she's fought
I'll
terrible
give I'll
people.
give credit where credit's due. She's gotten better on the mic. She speaks pretty well, but to me, it comes off kind of contrived. And but that's just me. That's me looking at it through the lens of someone who's been watching the sport for a decade, been involved in the sport longer than a decade. Um, I mean, she's gotten better on the mic. To
Right.
a casual, she's got it all. I mean, I'm looking at it through a more critical lens. And don't get me wrong, I you can make an argument for her getting this based on her resume and like her dominance in these performances. you can justify giving her a shot. I personally think that she should fight another opponent a little higher up on the list as far as the
Yeah,
rankings go.
yeah,
But the iron's hot right now, and real
yeah.
talk, real
No, I
talk.
mean,
I mean, we'll
sh-
talk about this fight more in depth, but
yeah, I
that
mean,
The
she.
listen, it saved Julia saved me. I mean, those stupid judges saved me from losing all my bets. But
Okay.
but yeah,
No, but you're right.
oof.
You're right.
That was a bad decision. It really
Uh,
was. I
Brett,
I
your buddy.
Kayla versus Holly is going to be excuse me, Kayla versus Juliana is there's some. I honestly don't know who's going to win that one.
Well,
Uh, Caleb
you're
could come in and be dominant, but I think Juliana, having fought the level of competition she has, is going to be no cakewalk for Kayla. But Kayla could come in top shape, come in. She could finish Juliana. She could cut a killer promo, and her star could really take off. I mean, she's put herself in a great position, and she's got a lot of not undeserved, pretty deserved hype behind her, but I don't feel like
well,
she's gotten the real test yet. So
your
we'll see.
your your buddy Brett Okamoto said that Kayla Harrison didn't have the easiest fight Saturday, but she got the job done. And for the sake of the women's bantamweight decision, it's a good thing she did. And he says this respectively because he wonders what the state of the women's bantamweight division would be right now if Harrison had not moved over from the PFL in January.
Uh,
He does not respect Pennington and Pena. He thinks the division is on life support without Harrison. And, their 5 round title fight was compelling and competitive, but it lacked true drama. And
wait,
not
why?
not not only
All
on
right,
Saturday
listen.
but throughout the week.
I respect Kevin. I really do, but
No,
I just
It's Brett Okamoto. Brett
oh
Okamoto.
excuse me. So, I was thinking Kevin Ioli, but I do respect Brett
He
Okamoto.
went hard at him. Wow.
Yeah, he did. I respectfully disagree. Um, I it was I thought it was a pretty solid fight. I thought it was a we'll get into it later, but I think it was a bad decision. But
Well, Brett is basically saying that Amanda Nunes left a giant goat-shaped hole in this division, and
listen,
nothing is going to fill it. And
okay,
Harrison is
all
the
right, all
only
right.
fighter with a chance.
Like, hey Brett, like, oh, like, what's your name? Um, what's your name? Amanda is already basically said she's coming back. She put up an Instagram, I believe, an Instagram post of her working out, and it was captioned something like "Dana, call me," like "Dana, why have you blown up my phone yet?" Like something along those lines. Amanda's looking to come back, but if you want, oh, it's on life support. Kevin, you forgetting that Juliana has a win over Amanda? Juliana beat Amanda to take the
Yeah,
title. So
but
I mean,
that was a blip in the road, and
it was a
Amanda had
blip in the road.
COVID allegedly.
There are no blips in the road at
But
this
she had
level.
COVID. She had
They
COVID.
they can't see us on the radio, right?
No,
They
well,
can't see
no,
us on the radio.
they can't see that on the radio. No, but
Oh, she had COVID.
that's what they
She had
said. They said she
COVID.
had COVID.
You know what that no, that's really cute. Excuses at the highest level.
Well,
She had
Amanda
COVID.
Nunes,
She
she doesn't
got
lose. She
beat.
never
She
loses.
got beat down by Juliana.
You would
We
call it
want to
it
discount
was a
Juliana.
It was a
Full story,
beatdown.
bro.
I didn't discount Juliana.
Listen,
Brett
like
Okamoto
I mean,
discounted Juliana.
when I don't discount Juliana in any fight. After the way I see her beat Amanda Nunes' ass down, because she did, she
She
beat her
did.
down.
She did.
She
She
beat
did.
down Amanda Nunes.
She did.
So
Yes.
I mean, you want to ignore that, Kevin?
I
That's
watched
fine.
that.
But
I
guess what? It's
watched that.
still a thing. It's still a
His name's
thing.
not Kevin, it's Brett.
Brett, whatever. I get
Uh,
Brett and Kevin only mixed up. I apologize to both gentlemen. But what I don't apologize for is calling Brett's take weak because he seems to forget that Juliana beat
he
Amanda down.
he
Now,
doesn't put weight behind it because she had COVID
she's not
or
COVID.
or was sick or whatever for the fight.
She was sick. We all have something wrong with us.
I
Every fighter
agree. I
walks into
agree.
the octagon with
I
something
agree.
not right. It's the name of the game. And you don't use that as an excuse.
I agree. I agree. I agree. Nobody goes in to any of these fights 100%. There's always going to
Of
be some sort of injury, some sort
course.
of ailment.
Yeah.
I 100% agree. So, the predictions right now, looking at it, obviously it's going to be Julia and Kayla. They think that that's what it's going to be.
Yeah.
Brett did not like Pena's post fight call out of him. Did she call out Amanda Nunes? Yeah,
I
I did. Yeah,
believe she did. I think I
yeah.
might have ran out of theater for a bathroom break after that.
He
But
was very upset with that.
I
He was
do
very upset.
believe that she did call out Amanda.
He did not like that. He did not like that. He
Why?
said because he thinks that she's afraid of Harrison. He thinks that she called out Nunes because she knows that Nunes is never coming
Kayla
out of
beat
retirement.
number Kayla beat a 4-year-old Holly and she
Yep.
beat number 15.
Yep.
He probably should have another fight against another contender at this point.
I agree with you.
Juliana and Amanda should fight.
I agree. I agree with you. I agree with you. And then I was looking at the other thing. Um, did you see Khalil Roundtree in the light heavyweight division?
That was the main event, bro.
Yeah, against Alex, right?
Yes, I
Yeah,
did see that.
and it was a great fight. It
Yes,
was a
it
brutal
was.
fight.
You're all over the map here. We just did Kayla, and now we need to do Dolize versus
Okay,
Jose Aldo Jr.
okay. If you want to do that, Jose Aldo, it was great to see him. But Brett was not overly impressed with Jose, and Brett believes that Jose has suffered from very, very poor matchmaking. Do you think that the matchmaking has created a predicament for him because he intended to retire from MMA to pursue boxing? And I believe, and you called this because pairing Aldo with Merab was when he was in the midst of
Yeah,
perhaps a final title run. It just felt weird. It felt odd.
not
And
really. Like that was the fight to make.
you
Like,
thought that was a fight to make
of course,
with
it was the
Aldo.
fight to make. I mean,
Yeah.
Marab, he's a champion now, and you need
Yeah.
to give him a real test before he fought for the belt. And as well, like, it was a title eliminator, and one of the big things was that Marab has said numerous occasions he would not fight Aljamain Sterling, who was a champion at the time. Um, so they gave him a title eliminator. Like, if Jose had won, he would have fought Sean O'Malley, not Marab. So what else are you gonna do with him? He was deserving of
Well,
that match, of that
did
title eliminator,
well
but
this
he
is this is
lost.
what this is what Brett believes. He said that our lasting memory of Aldo in the octagon was a wrestling heavy snooze fest.
No, it wasn't. It was
Do,
this
do you
last fight. No, it was this last fight where I feel like he got robbed.
you think you got robbed?
Yeah,
Okay.
I
Okay.
I had Jose with. Listen, this might be coming from the lens of I'm a true fan of Jose Aldo, but
Yes.
I really think he won that fight. Again, I thought Utah did a really bad job with the judging, so
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
is what it is.
No, I agree with you. Do you think Aldo will go to boxing?
Yeah,
Because
most likely. He said it's one of his dreams. He has the name value to get some fights, maybe on a Misfits card, being an undercard fight for maybe Jake Paul's next fight. Like I could easily see Jose fighting. Actually, not. No,
okay.
I believe Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson's a month away, so it won't
Yeah, it
happen
is.
there. So, but I can see him on one of those misfit boxing cards.
Yeah.
He's got the
Uh,
kind of name value where they could put him up against another um, MMA guy. They put him up against a someone in the top 20, top 15 of whichever weight class. Because there's different weight classes in boxing. He could fight at a different weight class, fight a number of guys. They could find a compelling matchup. It would make money. He would get a very sound payday. So, I mean, I can 100% see that happening, but a lot of us might also still want to see him fight in the octagon. So we will see. Time will tell, but I
no,
kind of
I
believe
agree.
we've seen the last of Jose in the octagon.
I agree. I agree. And good for him because
Yeah,
they
100%.
they apparently make more money
No, they definitely make
when
more
they
money.
box.
Definitely
Um,
more money.
the other guy on the list here was Mario Batista, who's a bantamweight,
Yes.
and they're saying that he should fight the one of the all time greatest, Mr. Henry Cerudo. Do you believe in that? He's being very selective about his fights, and he's earned the right to do that. Was Cerudo retired at one point and then came
So
back?
Guido did retire, and then he
Yes,
came back,
yes,
and he lost to Marab in New Jersey. So I mean,
yeah. Marab's a beast, though. I
yeah,
mean,
Marab he's a champion for a reason.
yeah, he's on a
Yeah,
different
exactly.
level. He's on a different level.
So I mean, Cejudo did retire. Cejudo was a double champion. Held the belt at
Yes,
125 and 135. King of Cringe. He really developed his character. Um, he made a lot of money. So I mean, still has the itch. Still wants to fight. I think that would be a pretty good fight.
yeah.
It's an
I
appropriate.
think it would
It is an
too.
appropriate fight.
I mean, I have not been a fan of Cerudo since he came back from
Cejudo.
retirement. How do you say it?
Cejudo.
Cejudo. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I have not been, a huge fan of his since he came back. I saw his last fight in before he retired, and I just thought he was a beast.
No,
But
he was 100%. Like, you don't win an Olympic gold medal and become a double champion in the
right,
UFC unless you are a complete beast.
right,
So, I mean, he's tiny. He's about half of me, but he's still a beast.
okay. And then we got Juliana Pena, who we talked about with Kayla Harrison.
Oh, let's talk
You
about some more.
you don't
All right.
think that you don't think that it should happen? Kayla should have another fight.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you think there's any amount of money or anything UFC could do to entice Amanda Nunes to come out of retirement? And even if
Amanda
she
already said
does,
she wants to come out. She has publicly stated she wants to unretire and she wants to fight. So she's
oh,
gonna fight.
okay.
Whether
Well,
it's versus Juliana, we will see. But
according to the
Amanda
article,
will
that she doesn't
Amanda
want
will
to
be
fight
back.
her. Yeah.
What?
Well, according to the ESPN article, that Amanda Nunes has no interest in coming out of retirement for a trilogy fight versus Juliana. She would come out to fight somebody else, but she does not think
So you know what the
that
fight to make?
Juliana's a
The fight to
challenge.
make no. The fight to make is Julia.
Kay,
Is excuse me is Kayla
and
versus
Juliana.
Amanda. That's the
Well,
fight.
that's a reach though. I mean, that's a big
Not
step for
really,
Kayla.
because
No.
Amanda, she's been out of the game for what, a year and a half?
Yep, she has.
So she's been out of the game for a year and a half, coming back for her first fight. And, you know, Kayla's been pretty impressive. She
She has.
took the she took the 1L in PFL. I believe she avenged her loss. Not 100% sure. But that's the fight to make.
But if we
If
we
Amanda doesn't want to fight Juliana, they should set up a rematch between Juliana and Raquel Pennington
okay,
and let
I could go with
and
that.
have Kayla fight Amanda to see who the number one contender is.
Because that's what I think the problem would be if Amanda were to beat Kayla. Amanda doesn't want to fight Juliana. If for some reason she does not want the trilogy
And
matchup,
that's
and
some well, excuse my
that
French, but
doesn't make sense.
that's some weak ass right there.
Well, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to
Why
me
doesn't it
why.
make sense? If Amanda comes back and
Yeah,
beats Kayla,
yeah.
why not give her a title fight?
No, I agree that you should. I'm saying that she doesn't want to fight Juliana. That's what baffles me, is that she could get a title fight and she's choosing not to take it. She doesn't want to fight
Yeah,
Juliana.
because she's I
You think she's afraid of Juliana right now?
yeah, probably.
Oh, okay.
Because
That's a different
she
story
all
then.
right, you gotta look at it in the sense
That's a
that
different story
she
then.
beat everyone else's ass.
She
Like
did.
one of
She
the most impressive fights I've ever seen is when she knocked out Cyborg. Like that was
I
just
remember that.
that was
Yes.
some next level stuff right there.
Yes.
Super compelling. And she just put Amanda just put Cyborg away.
And
It
that
was
was the end
such
of
a
Cyborg
it
in the
was such
UFC.
an impressive performance. But then
I know. I know.
Juliana said, "Oh, that's cute. Watch
Yep.
this.
Yep.
Hold my beer." And
Knocked her.
like,
Yep.
yeah, exactly.
Huh.
So I don't. Amanda definitely doesn't want that. She is apprehensive about that, and she sees the dollar
Okay.
signs. She sees the dollar signs
I'll buy
in a
it.
fight with Kayla. So hey, hey,
Yeah. And the main event was your guy, Alex.
Poetan.
I know you love him.
Oh,
And
he's
he's the next big thing in UFC since like Chuck Liddell probably. I mean, I don't know, but he is just on a different level.
he
But
really is.
now but now they're saying that who do you think Alex his next fight should be?
Should be or will be.
Should be.
It should if you want to make money. It should if John. It should be John Jones if John Jones wins.
That's exactly what that said. They said John Jones. They
Yeah,
said he should
100%.
go and
Like
fight John
it's
Jones.
just the most compelling fight. It's
Can
just the most compelling fight. Um, it's the fight that would make the most money. Um,
can he
I
go
think
up?
that it'd be an amazing fight.
Would it be at light heavyweight or heavyweight?
Like no, it'd be heavyweight, I believe.
It would be at heavyweight. Okay.
John. I don't think John's coming back
No,
down.
I don't think he'd come back down either.
Like I would love to see a catch weight at 225 pounds, but
It
UFC
wouldn't be
probably
for the
won't do
belt
that.
though, right? If they
No,
did catch weight.
yeah, no, it wouldn't be.
And the other option they're saying is the winner of
Rakic
Mad,
and Ankalev, right?
yeah, versus the guy at
I mean
308,
that
UFC
that
308.
would probably be the fight, but I mean it's just not compelling.
No,
I
no,
think
it's not.
Alex, I believe Alex already beat Rakic. So I mean, I think he absolutely smashes Rakic. Ankalaev, I think Ankalaev could be a problem if he utilizes his wrestling. But again, I think Alex makes short work of both those guys. I think he would beat the bag out of both of them, in my opinion. So I mean, it's not compelling. John Jones, at heavyweight especially, extremely compelling. But the other
So,
fight,
but
while
if
those guys are next in line, it's just not compelling. The
but
casual fan
right,
won't love
won't
it.
pay for it. You're right. But okay, John Jones, if he beats Stipe, he still has to fight Tom Aspinall,
No, he
right?
doesn't.
He
No, he
doesn't.
doesn't.
He doesn't.
He should fight Tom Aspinall, and that fight would
Okay.
be super, super, super compelling.
You think it
But
would?
well, I think one of the issues is that I believe that I think the biggest threat to John would be Tom Aspinall. I think Tom Aspinall has the
Wow.
I believe, especially with his Tom Aspinall's got some superlative striking. He's got really good power in his punches. I think he's the biggest threat to John. And plus, he is a massive guy. It ain't
Yes.
gonna be as easy wrestling him as it would be um even Pahea. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
Pahea is a kickboxer by trade. So I mean, Aspinall is a true mixed martial artist. We haven't seen his wrestling, and fighters from the UK aren't really known for their wrestling, but
No, they're not.
he's definitely been working on that for a number of years. And he fought Curtis Blades, who is an extremely strong wrestler, and
Yes.
Curtis don't get nowhere trying to take
No.
Tom down. I don't even know if he tried to take Tom down, which is dumb as hell, but hey,
So, John Jones and Stipe fight in November at
yes.
UFC 309. John Jones wins. Do you believe that he will call out Alex?
I do. We'll know the night of the fight. If Alex is cage side, something may happen.
And if that happens, do you think that angers Tom Aspinall?
Yes, 100%. Tom
100%.
Aspinall has been actively campaigning for the John Jones fight. So yes, it would. He would not be happy, but the UFC ain't in this
Now,
for the pure. As much as Dan talks about, you know, real fighters in the pure. And I don't think he says this phrase, but he definitely implies it. The purity of the sport, bro. That top, excuse me, Pahea versus John Jones. That fight prints money. The
no, I
Aspinall
agree.
versus Jones, it would still get a lot of interest, but the only place where you could really print money with it is in the UK.
No, I agree with you. I agree with you
Like,
completely on that. Um, the UFC right now, it's just, man, they have so many fighters,
yeah,
and I just the layoffs that they take, I still don't can't get over it. And even John Jones and Stipe, both have had very long layoffs.
yeah.
And you think that it'll be a
John Jones
compelling,
has
good
shown
fight?
and time again. After a layoff, he's still the GOAT. He's come,
Yeah,
he's had, think about all the suspensions he's had. Think of all the layoffs.
yeah.
Every time he has come
All the
back,
arrests.
every time he has, yeah, the arrest, every single time he has come back, he just smokes whoever's put in front of him. Like I put the Ovid St. Preux fight, the Cyril Gahn fight. It just wasn't even close.
Right. No,
Even close.
no, I agree with you. I agree. I
Yep.
wanted to just quickly pop over to the PFL
Uh,
because the card that we talked about is coming up soon. The Francis Ngannou debut. The schedule has been a little strange. They had the Bellator Champions Series and it got pushed back. It's going to be more in the 2025 winter. So the next big thing coming up is October 19th, as we talked
uh,
about. It's Francis Ngannou. and he is going to be having his first match in the PFL, and it's the Battle of the Giants, and it's a great card. Um, I was looking it over the other day. Just the ones I wanted to quickly ask you about were the middleweight. Eblon is 15-0, and I believe Edwards is 13-3. Fabian Edwards and Johnny
Yeah.
Eblon.
Fabian Edwards, the brother of UFC welterweight
Leon,
champion Leon Edwards.
yes.
But Johnny Ebling, you want to know where he was under Bellator? He was under the Bellator
Oh, he's 15 and
umbrella,
0.
but
Jeez.
PFL owns that now. Johnny Ebling is one of the best middleweights in the world. As much as, and I watched some of Fabian Edwards fight. He's a good fighter, but Johnny Ebling, in my opinion, top five middleweight in the world. I expect Johnny Ebling to have an emphatic win versus
Yeah.
Fabian. Yeah.
Okay. Um, and the next big fight, the women's featherweight world title, your favorite and mine, Chris Cyborg, 27-2-0 versus Miss Pachenko, who is 23-4-0.
Uh,
Larissa and Chris. Cyborg is Cyborg, and she's a machine.
yeah, she
Um,
is to a degree.
she and I mean she's a little bit older.
She's a mental midget.
She's
She's a fat like
she's a mental.
she's a
You
savage,
call
but
her? Did you just call her mental midget?
she is a mental midget, and she is
Which,
100% an abuser of performance enhancing drugs. Those two things. She's a mental midget, and she abuses PEDs.
well, then how does she get away with it? Doesn't PFL test like? I mean,
No, the
UFC.
athletic commission's test,
Well, right, but
and she's
UFC
pissed.
had
No,
USADA
she's
that
pissed
would.
off before. I believe
Oh,
twice.
okay.
I know once for sure, but I believe twice she's pissed hot. So
Yes, she
she
has. Yes,
abuses
I do know that.
PEDs. Look at her.
Well,
She
she looks
does
at
not pass the smell test.
she uses
Beyond that,
Botox too, I
she is
think.
piss positive. She is a mental midget. Now, on the other side, you have Pacheco.
Would you
Pachenko.
call wait a second. If you saw Chris Cyborg in person, would you call her a mental midget?
Yes. If she tried to talk to me, what you gonna do? Beat me up?
You'd call Chris Cyborg in person a mental midget. Have you
What
ever
you gonna
been
do?
in
Beat
this?
me up?
No, I'm just curious. Have you ever been in the same room as Chris Cyborg or the same arena?
We've been on the same arena. Yes, I believe we've been in the same arena. I didn't see her on that fight card, but before the fight, we were on a Zoom call together when they were talking about like the drug test. Like we had to do a Zoom call for all the drug test procedures, and we were on the same Zoom call. She was wearing a bathrobe. I think I might
Ooh.
take a screenshot, but like, dude, she could have been someone's dad on that friggin' in that.
Oh, that's nice to say. She could have been someone's dad.
Yeah, she
Okay.
could have.
Well, that's why she's victorious, and
Yeah,
it's always bothered
exactly.
me. It's always bothered me that her run in UFC was so unspectacular. Like there were such grandiose expectations going in that they were finally getting Cyborg, and they had all these plans for her and they expectations, and she really didn't live up to anything. I mean,
Didn't
she
she
was
beat Holly?
champion.
Didn't she beat Holly in a title fight?
She was champion briefly. Yes, she
And then
was, and
she
then she got
fought.
smoked
Then she fought Amanda and
and
got
got yes.
slapped.
And then she went off on Dana White, and she was cut from her contract.
Unceremoniously released
Dana
and
White
free
gives
to
yeah.
go to the B League and get a B title.
Dana White gives no f's about anything.
Nope.
He just doesn't care. He can do whatever he wants. He can just
Yeah, but they're
wind up
still
and
making money
slap
hand
his
over
girlfriend
fist.
and
They're still making money hand over
no,
fist.
they are. They are. They
Who
are.
cares? Who cares?
They are. They are. They're making money hand over fist.
Yep.
But it's good that PFL is doing this. They're having a true pay per
Agreed.
view. It's going to be on ESPN Plus, and hopefully they'll make some good money off of it. And the Bellator
We
series
should get
continues.
tickets and go to DC.
I would love to go to DC. I have no problem going to DC. So we can talk to our friend Jim Tucker about that. It's the night we can't go because that's the weekend you're getting honored, unfortunately.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's the 19th.
Oh God,
But
Steve,
the
I did
other
think I it just go back because I thought it was like this past weekend. I thought that's why I was going to the game. You just wanted me to go to the game.
well, I was trying to invite everyone. Everyone wanted to come. It was one of the worst games I've ever seen in my life, but that's what it
Bro,
was.
I don't like we can shift gears here for a second. That game was effing awesome. Especially the ending.
You thought it was awesome?
The
You thought it
ending?
was
Are you
awesome?
kidding me?
Yeah, the
Goal
ending was
line
awesome. The
dude.
ending was awesome.
Yeah, a goal line stand, a true goal line
Yes.
stand
Yes.
to a strip to a walk off touch, dude.
Return.
That
I
was
agree.
amazing.
I
That was
agree.
I left the stadium feeling so good after that.
But it was probably some of the worst football I have ever seen. UConn's
I
offense
would
was disastrous. Joe Figliano, um, he just throws missiles at people. He had 3 turnovers. They only had
yeah
99 yards rushing. Temple's guy was averaging 8 yards a carry. I mean, the
yeah like
defense
that.
stepped up and saved them.
Temple seems to have UConn's number whenever they play them.
No, Temple always does play us very tough,
Yeah
and his in all time has beaten us in the series. So I agree, but we're 4-2 going into the bye week. Hopefully we get healed up,
yeah agreed.
and that'll make the difference. If Evers gets healthy, Skylar Bell is healthy, um, I think that'll make all the difference in the world. And
I
then
agree. I tend to agree
defensively,
with you, Steven.
Jaden McDonald. I don't like the 3-3-5, but they play it well. I love the intensity. There was a lot of good to come out of it with the grit, and they never gave up. And
Yeah.
that goal line stand was probably the greatest ending in Rentschler Field history.
Yeah, it's
So,
up there. It's up there.
so is anything going on with Cage Titans or with Crown Sports Entertainment
The
in the next
Cage
few
Titans will
weekends?
be having a show, I believe, on September. No, excuse me,
October,
October. No, no, it is October. November 14th is their
November
next show.
14th. Okay. Eh,
I
Are any of your
do
guys on the card?
no. The top guy, Ozzy Martin, making his amateur pro debut rather. Um,
Oh,
there's the issue is three of the top promotions in New England are having a show that night. So the show in Plymouth, the show in I believe Bangor, Maine, and another one in at Southern New Hampshire State University for Combat Zone. So yeah, Ozzy's entire coaching staff's going to be up at New England Fights in Maine. So I mean, I think Ozzy might be fighting on that card, but
in
yeah,
Bangor.
I don't see. I think he should hold until January, but he's a young man and he wants to fight, so we will see.
Do you think he's ready?
Oh,
Yeah.
whoever I, it really doesn't matter. I feel bad for the poor soul that gets put in front of him for his pro debut, but hey, again, we'll see how it plays out.
What about Louise?
We actually that's the other thing. We have him set up. His fight's been announced. He's fighting a top contender in the area, coming off a draw. Who what was it? Zach. He's fighting Zach Di Sabatino, uh, on that date, November 14th for Cage Titans. So
Okay.
yeah,
So do you have
yeah.
any other guys fighting?
No, not that show. Like
Those are your
it's
three top guys.
yeah, two top guys, and yeah. Well, see how it plays out. Luis will travel to New England early in the week, and we'll get him ready. He's getting ready with his top training partner. Oh, I can't remember his name right now. Out of the UFC. Oh, I can't remember his name right now. Very controversial fighter out of Arkansas, but his main training partner is a top 15 UFC guy in the lightweight
Wow.
division, Bryce Harper. His
Oh,
main
okay.
partner, Bryce Harper out of the UFC. So, yeah,
How
we'll
many
see where all
guys total
goes.
do you have on your roster right now, would you say, that are active, fighting, amateur, and pro?
Uh, the most
Besides,
active are Luis and Ozzy. I have a
yeah.
couple amateurs getting ready to make their debuts, but again, I'm not pushing anybody. I'm not.
So you're not okay. So
Yeah,
it's you make the determination when they're ready
yeah.
to go
Well, there's a couple
after
guys I
they've.
think are ready right now. A couple of coaches disagree, and I'm not pushing that issue because they're young.
Well, because Crown Sports Entertainment, it's a team, and you guys all make decisions kind of together, right?
Yeah,
And
but
certain things,
there's other entities involved as far as like the
factors.
gym
Yes,
and the coaches, etc.
right.
And everyone on a fighter's team has input. The final decision is usually up to the fighter, but everyone has input. And the guys around me and the guys I bring in, especially their coaches, I don't ever dismiss anyone because those are the guys in there
Yeah,
with them. Like a couple guys
they
I
know them
actually
best.
coach,
Yeah,
but again, if you think
you
you see everything in this game, you're a
you
fool
you see
because
nothing. Yeah,
there's definitely things that coaches outside they give a different perspective outside yours that make contributions, and you can. Every time I've been in that situation, I can step back and say, you know what, there's something there, and we listen to
yeah.
each other. So
That's good that you're good at collaborating, because that
yeah,
can be difficult, especially
yeah, exactly,
with a big group, and fighters who I'm sure all have egos and all want to get in there and fight as soon as possible and make money
yeah,
and do all that. It's got to be tricky to navigate for sure.
can be.
Um, yeah, yeah, I can imagine. So that was excellent, an excellent Husky Talk MMA report with Tyler King, on 97.9 Unity Radio. A lot going on with the UFC. We got the PFL coming up,
Hmm.
and I'm excited for UFC 309. UFC 308 is next, and then 309 is the big one where we'll get to see
MSG baby.
Stipe and John Jones. That's going to be the big one. And then I'm hoping the PFL pay per view does well.
Why?
PFL needs to do well, and then they got to get the Bellator series going again, because that's what I was looking forward to, and I don't know why it got pushed back, but it did.
Because
So
they wanted to put one of the top draws in the PFL, which is a very wise decision.
yeah,
My
I
opinion.
agree. I agree. You're right. Yeah, with Nagano, that makes
Well, with
total sense.
Ngannou and Ryan and Johnny Evelyn.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Him too.
Like
Okay.
I obviously Ngannou's the star of the show for this one, but they're very smart to showcase Ryan Evelyn. Very smart. I think he's definitely the top middleweight in the world outside the UFC, but easily a top five middleweight in the world
Right.
wise. I'd rank him in the top five as far as
Yeah.
middleweights go. So
And we're still waiting on the Champions Series, when they're going to crown this season's champion. So I'm still looking for that for
excuse
the
me.
PFL season. So a lot to look forward to. But great show, great show.
Fair.
And
Well,
yeah, that was a crazy game, crazy show. And I wish Crown Sports Entertainment the best. And
thank
my
you.
co-host Tyler King, he's gonna go back and train and teach and just beat some ass.
Do what I do.
And for the best podcast host in the universe, Steve Cully. Remember, well, I shouldn't say that. I have to say our other sponsor, Green Street Trust International. Green Street
Mhm.
Trust International, Ronell Jump and his team, our newest
Biggie,
sponsors. They, yes, Biggie.
Biggie, love you,
They,
Biggie, love you,
yes,
Biggie,
yes, they work on asset management and protection, and they do strategies for tax reduction. They save you money through tax reduction.
and
You
just
can,
so you know, so all the people out there that work with the Rennell's company, you have literally the strongest accountant that's
yes,
probably ever
yes,
existed,
yes, the
dude.
biggest and the strongest
I
ever
would be
exist.
surprised. Like it would genuinely surprise me if Rennell can't bench over 400 pounds anymore.
No, he can for sure. He can for
Yeah,
sure. He's a
exactly,
big dude.
exactly,
He's a monster.
exactly.
And all he wants is asset management, tax reduction, and retirement planning. That's what
Yes,
they focus on.
and
Uh,
big bench.
and Sean Rabinowitz with Procyon Partners, he delivers his clients exceptional results. Proud supporter of Husky Talk. Peter Finch and Peter Finch's law firm. Happy to have him aboard. And if you ever need an attorney, Tyler, next time you get arrested, we got Pete for you. Or if you take a slip and fall, he's the guy. Personal injury, he's the guy we're going to. We got an attorney on board. We
I like
got
how
wealth
you assume I'm
management.
gonna get arrested.
No, I'm just saying we look at all our sponsors. We got an attorney to protect us. We got wealth management to protect our money. I mean,
Yeah,
you can't ask for anything better than that. And we got someone to do our taxes.
yeah.
Um, that's the best you can ask for. So for as I said, Tyler King, he trains, teaches, and beats ass. I'm Steve Cully, the best podcast host in the universe. This has been Husky Talk, the MMA report on 97.9 Unity Radio. Remember, when life gives you lemons, don't make lemonade. Take 2 oranges and throw them back at life.